Είναι τα podcast της Athens Voice.
And along with it has come a new freedom of expression.
This is the podcast about Thessaloniki International Media Summer Academy that we organized between 16 to 23 of July. I'm Nikos Panagiotou.
Christos Fragonikoulopoulos.
And together with us we have two participants of Thessaloniki International Media Summer Academy.
Javid
from Azerbaijan and
Leonardo from Italy.
Together with Leonardo and Javid, we discuss about mass media, about communication, about journalism, new trends, opportunities, and how we can turn crisis into opportunity. I will start by asking you the following question. What do you think of Greece? What is your first and the last impression of Greece now that you are here?
It's my first time in Greece, and Greece always struck me like as a country of history and architecture, and I have studied the ancient Greek actually. So, and seeing learning about the democratic institutions here, it was beyond my expectations actually. When you think of Greece, you immediately think of an European country, but you also think of Eastern Europe. But Greece is in between, and it's a perfect amalgamation, and has a very good opportunity to make advancements on the democracy area, and maybe also potentially teach us to the people who are living in post-Soviet countries or Middle East.
Leonardo, you have been a master degree student of ours. You are studying in Greece, but what is your impression from Greece?
Well, after 10 months that I'm here, I have to say that I'm more and more fascinated by the country. It's amazing. The resilience that I discovered from Greek people this year. At the same time, of course, I see many difficulties, and as far as I am in direct contact with academic departments and also like common people, I see that there are structural problems inside it. What fascinates me is Levantine attitude. The fact that there is a connection between Middle East, as Javid said, and Europe that match perfectly, and this allows me to have new opportunities to see different culture from a new perspective every time.
Being here in Thessaloniki International Media Summer Academy and discussing about media, do you see a crisis in media, or do you see an opportunity in the media sector?
I would say both, because I've done some wartime reporting only on the social media, and I've seen a huge rise of disinformation, like information war, trolling, and this could actually lead to some drastic measures. And states can say that, okay, I'm banning the internet, you can only get the information from me, and this is a very serious situation. But I believe that we can use this, we can turn this into an opportunity by introducing some fact-checking institutions, some methods to how the readers on themselves, like not only journalists, but how the daily users of social media can check facts for themselves and make up their minds, and then spread it and teach it to their neighbors or friends and family. I believe we can turn to crisis into an opportunity.
Leonardo?
I would like to ask how easy it is for you to operate as a journalist, as a critical and investigative journalist in Azerbaijan?
I'm not a journalist by
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not actually a journalist, but in the absence of, during the war, internet was severely limited in Azerbaijan. So as a translator, I had to translate some news, what I've seen from Azerbaijani sources into English for the people abroad and researchers abroad to know what's really going on in the country. But there are really serious investigative journalists, and they are under some investigation sometimes from the government. There was a recent leak called the Pegasus project, which was a spyware installed on some activists and journalists' phones. So they are in some type of danger from the government. We don't know how deep it goes, but they are in danger due to their work.
Okay.
Leonardo, media, crisis or opportunity?
I think it's more crisis. We see a lack of trust in general from all the different levels. We have the institutions. We also have the crisis on media trust. It is also an old adage that wherever we have crisis, we also have opportunities. I think that in the future there will be space for little places of resilience. We will have medium size, small size corporation that will be able to protect, to offer the audience a broader kind of information that will be in some years the starting point for a new building on trust. Right now, getting back, escaping the crisis where we find ourselves, I think it will be very, very hard.
Leonardo, if I am not wrong, you are a student that came to Greece to pursue our English-speaking postgraduate program on media and journalism, okay?
Yeah, it's correct.
And in Italy, you were a dancer. I
was a performer.
You have come into journalism from the arts. Now, if this is the case, you are talking about crisis in the media. If this is the case, how do you explain this U-turn in your professional orientation from being a dancer to wanting to be a journalist?
Well, my decision comes from crisis itself. The world of art, especially now that we had COVID, is suffering a very, 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 very deep traction. I would say that I decided to move to journalism because I realized that I wasn't an artist. To be an artist today means that you devote completely yourself to your object of art, which can be dance, theater, whatever it is. And you never know if you will have the money the day after, okay? I think it won't be my cases. I don't think that I'm more a creative guy than a real artist. I don't have a message. I don't have an aesthetic that I have to follow. I'm more a person that wants to be involved in something political. I want to help society and take a stand as a civil actor.
So what is your vision for journalism in the future?
My personal vision is that there will be a need of resilience, resilient places that will be like an archipelago of island that will protect a kind of perception on trust, civil society, truthness, etc., democracy. Which hopefully will survive to the big wave that we are facing right now, and will be the starting point in the future to create something. I don't think that the situation we are facing today as a deeper social structure crisis will be. I don't think we have the opportunity to really face it utterly.
Okay.
Young people tend to avoid the news, as we have seen in various researches. How do you explain this situation, and what we can do in order actually to help them or to reinforce them get involved with news and media? Leonardo and then Javid.
Okay, that's a very hard question. Okay, we have social media, we have new different way of attract, enter in contact with young people. And on the other side, we have a lack of attention in general. The question is very hard to be addressed. I know for sure that young people want to be informed, wants to understand how the situation is. We know that everyone who has been young, at least we have a crisis every time that there is the growing period. How to catch them? Give them something meaningful. That will be the answer. How to get it? What is this? I don't know. I saw, for example, speaking about art, since Professor Franco Nicolaou asked me, that today people doesn't go to the theater anymore. Okay, we have a very deep crisis on that aspect from a revenue point of view. But if you do a performance on social networks, it works. Okay, the critics are crying because we have the end of the theater. We should not have the idea of theater online and the repetition of it. Okay, whatever you want. But in terms of public, in terms of sending a message, this is the only way that proved to be effectively.
On my case, I can say that the new generation, which we call the Z generation, they are not very interested in news because most partly due to its consumer culture. They are more involved in like Netflix or like BTS, Korean pop and stuff like that. So they see politics or news or this as some grown-up business. So they do not want to be much more involved in that until they graduate university and live a real life. But in order to combat this, be as grown-ups in their words, we should teach them how their life is always shaped by the media and why they have to follow the news in order to have a say in their life, why they should be involved in politics, why should they enter to the realm of news and media so they can comment on stuff. I think they severely lack this vision in their lives because they are much more involved in these consumer subcultures.
Having said that, what do you feel you learned here? Because you had instructors from all over the world, students from all over the world. What was, the niche? What was the niche? What did you really get out of this summer school?
So far, I've learned a lot about the tools we could use while researching the media and regarding how to deal with the news pieces. And we lack these type of courses or seminars in my part of the world, and therefore we have this severe lack of. And I guess that if there were more participants in my part of the world, I do not mean only Azerbaijan, but also Georgia, Armenia, or maybe even Central Asia, they could use it a lot. And in my country, for example, journalism is almost as trash. For example, let's say it's first day of the school, and journalists would make news about how their children went to school and how was their first day. We do not want to learn about that. I do not want to read about that. I want to read about more worthy matters like how is the price hike in the market? How much is bread now? So is there going to be any more quarantine and stuff? But in our country, there is so much oppression on the media that they don't know what to write about. They are not being brave. State grants them and some houses to live in, so that it's kind of a bribe. Like, you don't have a house, I'm going to give you some house. So even if they don't tell them, don't write about this, they feel that they shouldn't write about this. They fear that this home could be taken. So I believe that if we attend to some more classes like this and some more seminars, academies, maybe even a year, we could learn a lot and we could apply this to media in our part of the world. I don't know about Leonardo, but the situation is in that way in my country.
Leonardo, do you see any, now that you have been with us for 12 months, do you see any difference, any similarities with the Italian media and the Greek media?
Well, you know better than me, Professor, that in Greece you say, as we say, no, una razza, una faccia.
Yes.
There are many similarities in the structural problem, in the independence of media outlets, in how media don't want to face some crisis once the so-called migrants one. So yeah, there are many similarities. Also in the resilience aspect, as I tried to say before, we have good newsrooms in Italy as well that are trying to make the difference, and that's important. We have people fighting for civil rights daily.
Your professors at Aristotle University offer you a new insight, a new perspective.
Yeah, that's for sure, and not just because it's me and you right now saying this.
Yes,
I really believe that what I get from this year is something incredible for me. The opportunity to foster the network, to debate a lot, and all the insights that the university offers are crucial skills, I bet, on my future career. I also think that the opportunity to study in Greece is unique. Most of the time people says, hey, you should go to study to England, North Europe, okay, speaking about European schools. And I do agree, if you have the opportunity to enter in the biggest, most known university, why not? Oxford, Cambridge, you know that after that you have a good job placement. But when you speak about people that are more common, okay, people that doesn't have such a big outlet of opportunities, why don't you go to study in places where there is something to understand, something unknown, something that is tricky? For me, that was Greece, a place, and this today as well, somehow, a place where there are many questions, most of them are not solved yet, and where there is a lot more to understand and to learn than if I would go to, I don't know, Belgium or France. That's we found saying that it's important to have an international experience, but I don't believe in the narrative that we should every time go to study in what it is perceived as the best country worldwide.
The West, yes. What about in Azerbaijan? What can you tell us about the level, the quality of media and journalistic studies in your country?
As I said before, the media is dependent on the government in my country, and there are also there are free media examples as well. There used to be Radio Free Europe, and there used to be Voice of America, BBC, and many more. But year by year, they have like they have been repressed the media, whoever dared to criticize some governments or president's actions, they were silenced. They were either forced to go to exile to France, Germany, and continue their work from there, or they were like with threats, we are gonna like kick your family members out of their work and stuff like that. They are under threats. So
what you are saying is that you don't have media studies at university level in your country.
We have basic journalism schools, but we don't have an academic freedom to study the media. So because with the study, you also have to bring some criticism and critical thought to the notion. Since we lack this, we only learn history of journalism in Azerbaijan. Like we have 1 century of history of journalism. We have like magazines, newspapers. We should be proud of it, but that's that. We are unable to go forward and have some critical thinking towards the media. Therefore, we go for media studies in England, maybe, or in some, at best, Turkey. That's the situation right now.
How easy was it for you to come here, given this condition in your country, to come and follow, a course on journalism and communication?
I guess it was pretty easy for me.
Yes.
If we are not talking about the visa process, but rest of it was pretty easy because I'm a lone wolf there, and despite my presence in Twitter and social media, I'm a lone wolf, and governments do not generally go after people. They are more varied of the organized movements.
So can you describe us in a few sentences? What exactly do you do?
Currently I am translating Azerbaijani news, which were intended for the Azerbaijani society, which is their English versions of news are completely edited and cut out to give you only the bare information. But in Azerbaijani versions they have like fully detailed ones, so we know who is who. I try to give this context to my international audience as well. So in that sense, I'm also doing some reporting, but I mostly consider myself as a translator.
Okay, thank you from me.
Okay, if I would like, this is the final question. If you would use one word or one phrase to characterize Thyssen up until now, which one that would be?
Oh, Javid, that's a hard one. I would. I should give my place to Leonardo first and think.
Okay, Leonardo.
Mine would be. I would be how to sail in this sea. Some tools or food for thought to continue to sail in the problems of the newsroom, in today's challenges of journalism.
And I just thought of a Greek word for it, and I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it correctly. It's a phrase like "kataton daimana iako," something like this. Is to face your own demons. When I came to Greece, I thought that I was gonna I was do not fit in the community here among the people who came from other parts of the world. But Greece turned out to be a melting pot, so it was welcoming. And in Turkey, I've lived and studied in Turkey for 10 years, so it felt very similar to me. It's like same people in different countries. So it was unexpected for me. And I believe that TISAM provides a good opportunity for how people are living in Greece, could live in Greece, and develop themselves peacefully.
Let us hope that, as it appears, your government's decision to recognize the Turkish Cypriot side as an independent state will not cause any problems in our networking and friendships. I was hearing this on the radio today that Azerbaijan is just about to, or is very near to recognize the Turkish Cypriots.
So this is what it is about TISAM. It is a meeting point, a point where actually people from all around the world meet and discuss, and they are sailing together apart with new tools and new ways. We would like to thank you very much.
Very much. It was very interesting. Seriously.
We would like to thank Leonardo.
Yes.
And David from Azerbaijan. It was our podcast.
It was informed of your work, Javid.
And it was this podcast was part of our work regarding Thessaloniki International Media Summer Academy. Thank you very much.
Ήταν ένα podcast από την Athens Voice. Μπορείτε να ακούσετε τα podcast της Athens Voice στο athensvoice.gr και στο Spotify, στο Apple Podcast και το Google Play Music.